Right. Is that working? Signal in Hampstead. Oh, well, it's working now, isn't it? For a while. I don't know when it tells me it's paused. Do I just freeze, or do it just go off? Right, I've got some questions. Got loads of questions. And it was sort of first come, first serve. So there's mad ones, because mad people, they're sometimes more motivated, aren't they? They get in there quick. Right, I'll get through them. Oh, this internet. Someone just said the internet is me too. I don't know what to do. Oh, oh God. Why doesn't the internet work? We fucking pay. Why doesn't it fucking work? Right, I'm just going to get through it and then delete it. Chris Hubbard, would you rather have feet for hands or hands for feet? I need my hands. I play guitar and tennis and, right. I mean, I need my feet. I use my feet every day. But, I mean, if I had to make that choice, I don't know what scenario I'd have to make that choice. There's no medical scenario where I'd have to make that choice. I've heard of things like, oh, your wife in childbirth, we can either save your wife or the baby, but never, do you want to keep your feet or your hands? Maybe I've been caught by a weird cereal, like something from Saw. I keep my hands, and it's not like I'm losing my feet, but I'm gaining hands on my feet, aren't I? So I just have 4 hands. I mean, I could work that out. It would be harder to walk, but I reckon I could sort of get shoes. Because I'd have my legs, wouldn't I? I'd be strong enough. I'd just have be able to have little feet, wouldn't it? Like a little duck. I'd cover them up as well. Just have some sort of special shoe. So I might walk a bit funny, but it'd be alright unless I've got my hands. But what's the point of 4 feet? You can walk around, but you've got feet, so you can't do anything. We've got 4 hands, that's better. Better for someone's 4 apples. I'd have to sit on my ass though, wouldn't I? And I'd grab them. Be just like being a chimp, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'd have hands for feet. Taco King, have you ever thought about writing a spin-off show with characters from The Office? Lee is such a good character. I haven't. I thought about it with Afterlife because there were so many. It was such an ensemble. There's about 10 to 20 really funny characters from Afterlife that you didn't see much. But I'm too lazy. People are doing spin-offs from The Office all over the place. Good luck to them. They have to pay me. There's another one. There's a spin-off of The Office coming to America where it's sort of... It's the same sort of vibe as The Office, but it's set in a local newspaper. So they've sort of fused The Office with Afterlife. Do I get paid twice? Sort it out. Doom Herald, can you sum up the meaning of life? No meaning, is there? We didn't have a choice. We didn't choose to exist. We just, we're the result of like 3.5 billion years of evolution. The chance of being born like 400 million to 1. And it's great. It's a one-off. We'll never exist again. We didn't exist for like 13.5 billion years, and now we got 80, 90, 100 years, if we're lucky. And then we don't exist again. There's no point to it. as an individual point, you've got to find your reason to carry on living, and that's loads of reasons. There's loads of reasons to make the most of this crazy chance, you know. Learning stuff, playing, friends, you know, just try and find out as much about the world and enjoy every minute that you can. Whatever makes you happy, do that without hurting anyone. Keena, how important do you think social media is in today's world? Well, I don't know, depends what you want to do. I mean, I suppose it's good. I sell my tours out on social media. It saves me doing interviews and stuff, I suppose. But it's not important in the greater scheme of things, is it? I mean, it is like reading every toilet wall in the world. But, you know, you don't have to do it. It's virtual. If you don't like it, don't go there. But it's funny, isn't it, how it took off? It sort of makes sense because gossip is in our evolution. We used sort of gossip to, you know, control the tribe. Because the point is we want to raise our status. We want to be respected. You know, that's in our evolution. And the way you raised your status is two ways. Be good at something, be competent. People would say, oh, he's a good hunter. He's good for the tribe. And the other way was virtue. Oh, he's not a great hunter, but he's kind or whatever. And then social media comes along and people can raise their status without meeting anyone by doing good content, or that's where virtual signaling comes from as well, because people can suddenly go, oh, I'm virtuous, we've got no proof. They can be an absolute horror. But as long as they put the right things in their bio, everyone thinks, oh, they're good, they're a good person. So, but, I mean, it's just it's been a good tool for me as well as an observational comedian, because before social media, I'd have to actually bump into mental people. Now I can just listen to them from the safety of my mansion. But, I don't know, we don't know how long it'll be around, somewhere to replace it. Gunnar, what's the most sensible thing you've ever heard someone say? Or, what is the greatest enemy of mankind? Oh, that's a good one. Gunnar's got two questions. Gunnar's a dog, by the way. Greatest enemy, two things spring to mind. Greed and stupidity. And when they're mixed in amongst 8 billion people, that is an amazing cocktail. Greed and stupidity, I'd say. And they work very well together. As an enemy to mankind, greed and stupidity. What's the most sensible thing you've ever heard someone say? Well, lots of amazing quotes. I suppose you mean sort of social. I remember when I had a job in a factory when I was a teenager, and I had to get these lumps of pipe out and grind down the end, and I was getting them out of the oil and grinding them down. I was going 1, 2, and this bloke who'd sort of been there for 20 years and was going to be there for another 20 years, he looked over at me and said, who are you trying to impress? Why are you going so fast? And I thought, good point. And I've carried that lesson with me. Never try too hard at anything, kids. Gonzo the cat. Dear Uncle, what are you most proud of in your life? And what would you most like to be remembered for? Could be more than one thing. Well, you want people to think that you were honest and kind and all the obvious virtues, don't you? What am I remembered for? Well, I'd like people to remember me as a good soul, I suppose. A nice chap who did well. I know it's a difficult one because it sounds like I'm sort of suggesting to you what I think I'm like. But yeah, I think the same as everyone else, really. You want people to think you're a decent guy who didn't, you know, hurt anyone, and hopefully, if there was a cosmic balance, I'd like to think I made the world a slightly better place than a slightly worse place. You know, when you hire a caravan for a week, my mum used to say, leave it as you found it, if not better. So I sort of think of that, really. Am I? Did I do slightly more good than bad? Although, problem with that is, you got serial killers who did a lot for charity. Leslie, you're one of the few down-to-earth famous people who actually react with their followers. Yeah, but look where it gets me. Bad signal, stupid questions. Thank you. We know your Dutch barn is great, but the ads are too naughty for TV. Is there anything we can do to help spread the word? Yes, the Dutch barn. Dutch barn. I co-own that company. And yeah, all the adverts I've been doing, they can never get on telly. Well, I'm going to do some for telly, maybe. Just take out some of the... It's made in Yorkshire from apples. It's we got our own orchard and everything. I'm a farmer, officially. I told you, didn't I? So if there's a war, I couldn't fight. Like they can have me anyway. We need that fat old bloke. Why? He's got 4 hands. 4. See? Occam's razor. The thought might be boring, but have you ever considered narrating an audiobook? I think you'd be fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Razor, but I don't think I would. I get bored too easily. My eyesight's going. Well, I probably should wear glasses or reading glasses. I get bored with reading very quickly. I'd want to make jokes. I could do my own, I suppose. Do my own autobiography. Again, I wouldn't bother writing it. This is like, there's enough stuff for social media. No one has to do their autobiography now, because I've told everyone everything about them. What am I going to surprise you with? I was the illegitimate child of a king. You'd know everything about me. No, I haven't thought about doing that. That's not stressful, is it? Trying to do a live broadcast where it doesn't work. Zen XV. For about 2 weeks, I've had to adjust the flow in the toilet cistern manually after each flush to stop it trickling. Should I get a plumber in to fix it or keep adjusting the flow? Just keep... Never fix anything. I follow that advice medically as well. If something goes wrong, I just think, I'll just wait for it to get better. Jay goes, go to the doctor. No, it'll just get better. Or it won't get better and I'll just carry it for the rest of my life. Like something wrong with my toe. That's fused now. What else? Teeth are crooked. Who cares? Got loads of fillings. A frozen shoulder. Back goes. Just get on with it. I haven't got time. Can't be bothered. I said before, if I had a little doctor in the basement, I'd be down there all the time. But it's the admin, calling, getting a thing, the worry. If I just go down and say, what's this lump? I'll do it. Just sitting there, little fella behind the desk. Like a fucking weird prisoner. Is that normal? No. They're way too distended. Gee. Mark X Art. What is it like being such a rich, handsome genius? Well, what does it look like? I'm tired, I'm angry with the Wi-Fi. I'm drinking beer. I'm answering questions from cats and dogs and maniacs. That's what it's like. But I do travel first class. Julia Kemple. I've just learned from my 7-year-old that a banana is a berry and a strawberry isn't. Have you discovered any good scientific facts recently? Thing is, I read up about science, but there's so much, and I skim read things, and I don't know if I fully understand anything. I know a bit about everything, and most of my life most of my, educational life, I did sciences. I even got to college to do science and swapped to philosophy, and I've kept interested. But I don't know. I did hear. Now, some of you eggheads, some of you quantum physicists might be able to verify this. But I heard there's rumblings in the scientific community that time might turn out to be a particle. Now, it's not fascinating because I don't even understand the premise. I can't imagine, you can't imagine what time is, let alone it being a particle. What does that even mean? So, I can't help you with that. Deborah, if social media didn't exist, how would you reach your fans? What other form of advertising would you use, Ricky? I don't know. Traditional ones. Maybe traditional ways wouldn't be PR's, isn't it? All newspapers are TV's. I was looking at I realised how lucky I was when I was looking at the industry and how terrestrial TV, even our big channels, they get 1, 2, 3 million. And Netflix has just blown them away. The figures you can get on Netflix are extraordinary. So all that's done. And I suppose, it's all the internet, isn't it? Netflix is basically, it's a website on the internet. And so I suppose I connect, if I'm talking to people on the internet, they're already there. They've probably got Netflix or something. I suppose it would be harder for me. And I hate interviews. I don't try not to do press because I've got an ulterior motive. It's always about them. So it's great. This is good. That is the best thing about social media, connecting with fans, and doing stuff like animal welfare campaigns, and so that is good. That is the good thing about social media. You just have to manage it. Just have to rule idiots out of your life. There's loads of idiots on social media, but there's loads of idiots on the high street. You just have to see them coming, I suppose. If someone's walking along the street with their shirt off shouting, cross the road. Same with social media. Block them, avoid them. They don't exist. Sean, when's the next special? Well, I've got to tour it first. I'm doing warm-ups. I've done about 50. I'm probably going to do another 20. Then I'm going to start it slowly in the autumn, doing theatres around Britain, then arenas around Britain, and then arenas everywhere else, all my favourite places. I'm doing the Hollywood Bowl again, I think. Obviously New York, all my favourite European cities like Copenhagen and Stockholm. That is amazing for me. That might be, what's your greatest achievement? The fact that I'm a British comedian playing arenas in non-English speaking countries. They speak English, but you know what I mean. That still blows my mind that I can fill an arena in Europe. That's mind blowing. That is mind blowing. I think that might be my greatest achievement. To be a stand-up comic filling arenas around the world. Yeah, that one. And of course, because of your generosity and buying platinum tickets, I can donate millions to animal charities, which is the biggest buzz. That is the biggest buzz. So yeah, as my mum used to say, you can't take it with you, so give it to a dog. I've just added to it. These questions, I thought I only did a few. So our next special will be the end of 25 or the beginning of 26. I'll be touring for like, I don't know, 14 months, probably. Oh, I won't live that long. Do you have Jeannie, do you have speakers in every room for listening to music? I have something in every room. I have a radio or Sonos or I've still got an old iPod in the gym. Yeah, radios everywhere. Spotify on my phone. Yes, I've even got vinyl in the living room. So yes, there is something to play music in every room, I think. Can't do without it. Jane gets up like 3 hours before me so she can do some work before I come down, because YouTube's straight on and I'm listening to songs while I'm working. Oh God, it's good being a burden. If you could choose invisibility, immortality, or the ability to teleport, which would you choose and why? Teleport. Teleport, no doubt about it. Immortality, that'd be horrible. Invisibility, what's the point? What is the point? Sneaking in places, well, it's amazing. Invisibility would be amazing, but I don't know what teleport, that'd be amazing. I'd come to Australia. Just all the getting on the flight and sitting next to a big fat bloke farting for 23 hours. That's what puts me off. Yeah, teleportation. I saw, what was that film? Was it Jumper? One of those real great aeroplane movies about someone who can just go anywhere. Just pop round. Okay, look, we've got a few more here. This has been a shambles, hasn't it? It was only an experiment. See if I could... Why is it all right now? Or maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. You wouldn't get George Clooney doing this. Vintage Bob T. Not a stupid question, but after the success of Afterlife, Derek, Extras, etc., do you have another cracker up your sleeve coming soon? Well, you never know. I'm planning something. I've got the tour, and I'm trying to make Dutch Barn a global brand. So that's exciting. I'm really working hard at that. I've got 3 full-time jobs at the moment, and I'm developing an animation, a little animation for Netflix. But I don't know. You never know if it'll set the world alight. Who could have guessed that Afterlife would be as... Do you know what I mean? A little British sitcom about a guy whose wife is of cancer. And it's got hundreds of millions of views. People are still watching it. No one could have guessed that. So you can't assume that. You've got to assume that a few people will like it and then it'll get cancelled. That's what you always assume. And I think the only reason I've never had anything cancelled is I get out before I cancel it. But I hope everything you do is watched, and but you never know. I'd say to new comics, don't worry about that. Just do your best, enjoy it, and get paid. Because nothing else matters. Reviews don't matter. Awards don't matter. No, do you know what I mean? I say to people, when you start off, you want to get 5 stars. You want to be lauded, all of that, and then you realise that a house is real. No one's ever bought a house with a great score on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's my advice to young comedians and actors. Get paid. Enjoy it and get paid. Last question. Lionel Lemon. So that's an account of a fictional lemon in afterlife. As I said before, you would not get George Clooney doing this. Lionel Lemon. Here's a ridiculous question from your favourite lemon. Would you rather have abnormally big toes or abnormally big ears? Well, but what's abnormal? I mean, do you mean, is it elephant ears versus a big marrow toe? Or is it just like, if I took my socks off and showed you my big toe, people go, me, they're big toes. It depends, doesn't it? I mean, ears are the first thing you'd see. Could I hide my toes? Or have I got like 2 foot long shoes? If abnormally big toe, say you're twice as big, so it's ears twice as big or toes twice as big, I think I'd choose toes twice as big, because I'd just get big shoes and I'd be a really good swimmer. Ears twice as big, people go, me. They come Dumbo. You don't want to prejudice people before they meet you. You don't want the first thing to be, me, he's got big ears. Whereas I was walking along, people wouldn't go, me, he's got big toes. That'd be a little surprise when we went swimming. I go, why is he going so fucking fast? Oh, he's got massive toes. What a load of shit that was. I knew it would be. Thanks for following. Thanks for asking all your stupid questions. Stuff, and we share things about Dutch Barn. Try Dutch Barn. Yes, it might make me $1 billion, but when I die, that'll go to worthy causes, won't it? That's why I haven't had kids. Even though my kids don't exist, I hate the little to have all my money. Right, that'll do. Tattoo bye, everyone. Tattoo bye.
Photograph. Are you spelling deaf there, lads? DEF. So, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Good tune, there. No snobbery. Not on this show, mate. How are you? Hello. You said, right. Is this interesting broadcasting? Honestly, got nothing to beat them. There's nothing to beat the shit that I see that's being broadcast at the moment in the name of entertainment. I mean, from, shows that, fair enough, they used to be studio shows with a lot of effort and stuff, and now they're put together on Zoom. Right, that's fair enough. But it's like, everyone's having a go now, aren't they? Some people are having a second bite at the cherry. They can't believe their luck. They've got, we'll have you on. Fucking hell. So we're really milking one idea on Twitter. Again, nothing wrong with that. Whatever gets you through. I told you I finished The Last Dance. Brilliant. Just give the Emmy. Just give that the Emmy. Oh, Emmys. I've got no chance for an Emmy. It started coming through, like people ask me to do this podcast for like Emmy consideration. Afterlife has no chance. No chance at all. Because it's going to be a big, there's the same sort of 5 big network shows that are going to be nominated. They're like a juggernaut, a machine. 6,000 Emmy voters. Why are they going to vote for me? Particularly after the Golden Globes. They all hate me. Yeah. He said we're all disgusting. Should we vote for his Netflix show? No, let's not. Also, I think people will go, this isn't a comedy. It's not people talking in a funny voice and falling over. There's no laughter. There's a man who's sad. We can't give a. I can't believe I've been nominated as many times as I have in the Emmys. Was it 24 times for writing, directing, things like extras, Derek, stand up. I tell you, I've got a chance of another nomination. Writing my monologue for the Golden Globes again. I've had a couple of nominations for that, so that might get me another nom. Who cares? So if any Emmy voters are watching, vote for me. Be on the right side of history. It doesn't matter. You realise it's very exciting still, and the first time you get nominated for anything or win anything, you think, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever." And then when you see the idiots who get nominated, you know, like not that special, and the idiots who fucking vote, and the reasons people vote for things and stuff. But it's nice. It's always nice to be around in the mix, to still be there. I'm talking like I'm dead. This is me writing my own obituary. Yeah, the good innings. He was always around. He was always got nominated and did a bit of everything. Didn't he? He wrote a little bit and directed and acted. Did a stand up. Did some children's books. Yeah, he had a good lazy bastard. He liked to drink. He was a nice lad. He stayed normal. Wasn't a nonce. Didn't kill anyone. Paid his taxes. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad for a top entertainer. Yeah, that'll do. Be long on the gravestone, won't it? That'd be a long. God, Lou did lots of great stuff. Didn't kill anyone. Not a nonce. Paid his taxes. I'll be happy with that. Had a laugh. Any questions? Quimmy Savile. Just said Quimmy Savile. Oh, the other day when I explained to Americans who the outtakes where Ratty and the Nonce were shouting out nicknames like Quimmy Savile, Michael Parkin Bum, and all that. What was the other one? Howard Shitmum. I explained who they were, and I felt bad after, but I lumped in Michael Parkinson with Jimmy Savile and Harold Shipman. Right, now Harold Shipman was a murderer. Jimmy Savile was the world's most prolific nonce. Right, Michael Parkinson didn't do anything wrong. He's a nice man, at the top of his game. He was our greatest interviewer. I wasn't suggesting that he was in the same company as those two. I should make that clear. I've probably made it worse. What else has happened? Thanks for watching Afterlife 1 and 2, and the Willoughbys. That really took off. That yeah, done really, really well according to Netflix. So I don't know if that's a reflection of lockdown, where people just like get their kids and watch this film, watch this film, watch it again. But yeah, incredible all around the world. My first animated feature as one of the producers. So I'll do that again. That a lot of work. takes 3 years from beginning to end. Getting everything together, all the casting, but it takes a long time, but it's probably actually less work for me to do a voice and be involved than if it was a live action. Anything can happen. Obviously, the real work is for the animators and the director of all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it takes a long fucking time. Never did Jamie Redknapp. Jamie Redknapp. Well, his name wasn't changed, and he's a ex-footballer who, as far as I know, has done nothing wrong either. These are just people asking me. I'm not just suddenly just shouting things out. Like, this is a man. What will they think of this, right? What if they found all these things like in 10 years' time and people didn't know the lockdown or why I was doing this? It just looks like the ramblings of a madman. And in 10 years' time, I probably will have lost my mind. I will be somewhere, in a home somewhere. So they go, oh, that was the beginning of it. Just so he'd be sitting there, talking to himself, drinking beer, going, Jamie Redknapp. Right, and then go, there's a cock in a drain. Maybe someone should do the best of. And by the best of, I mean the worst of these. Someone should put together the shittest, most mental, awful, banal moments of this. And I'll send it off. I'll say, can I do this? I want to do this show. Everyone's getting shit telly shows from doing this sort of shit. People are desperate. Absolute bollocks is getting made. So someone compile a 2-minute sizzle reel of the worst of these. Oh dear. How long's that? 13 minutes. Wow. I got shit to say. Who cares? Where did I watch Bowie and Live Aid 35 years ago? In our shitty little flat on a tiny little television. That I had like a coat hanger for an aerial. It was about that big. Right? The flat it's the tiny little room that I talk about where I could open the fridge from the bed. Horrible. Shitty place. Dodgy landlord. Just horrible. And a telly that it was like the picture, you had to wiggle the coat hanger thing to try and get it. It was like, it's like 3 pictures superimposed. Watching snooker was fucking terrible. It honestly, it looked like atoms and wax. It's just about 1,000 balls and black and white, of course. So yeah, and I remember Bowie coming out, and it was incredible. If I remember right, he gave up a bit of his time to show a video. Everyone had like a certain amount of time, or 4 songs, and he said, show an important video on something mine. Yeah, and I think that's when the world also looked at Queen in a different way, didn't they? That was their big. I mean, they're already huge, but their huge global break when everyone just thought, "Oh, Queen are amazing." I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I should do something else in animation. I think I'm really getting into that. It's good that. I mean, some of the best animation is absolutely brilliant. It's just things you obviously can't do. But I do like working with actors. I like that realism as well. What else? Queen stole that show. Oh, yeah. Pretty good. Bowie as well. Was it Friday, innit? Yeah. Is it another bank holiday, innit? How many have they had in May alone? It's a lot, isn't it? I've enjoyed doing this though. It's been nice, just chatting. No pressure. Who gives a fuck? It's been like just, yeah, chatting to. You don't get to do this sort of thing. Even interviews, you're trying to be articulate and talk in sound bites and answer the question. Sometimes the questions are shit. Whereas this, I don't know. As I say, it's like a man in a padded cell. Just talking to. I don't know who I'm talking to. Really, I'm talking to you lot, but I don't know you, do I? Do you ever play darts? I used to love darts. Yeah, I wasn't good. I never understood with darts. Right? You practice, obviously, I get that. But then you practice, and then you sort of get what you're aiming for. You get, 320s, the odd treble, right, and all that. And then one day you try and get the 20, and you get a 1, and then a 5, and then I go, why? I just did it. It wasn't luck. Why can't I do it every time? So that annoyed me. Your favourite vacation spot? Well, not that we've had a vacation for 20 years. Although, flying around the world, doing these gigs, I always make sure... Well, one, I choose the nicest places in the world. Obviously, the most beautiful capital cities. And, cities in America and Canada that I want to go to. So we spend some time there. So they're sort of little vacations. Even though I'm working, it's not like work, is it? It's fun. But the last time I had a week off and sat by a pool or a beach or something, which I knew to, that's like 25 years ago. We always liked Italy. Yeah, went there a few times. But obviously, no one's having a vacation yet. Everything's postponed, isn't it? It's my birthday soon. Postpone it. And I can stay 58. Until I celebrate my birthday, I'll stay 58. 58. Fucking hell. Doesn't feel that. I don't feel 58. I know I look it. If doctors open me up, they go, he's definitely fucking 58. Look at this. Look at that. The fuck is that? That's his liver. Right. Oh. Fucking hell. That. Is that blood? No, it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Right. Well, that's fucked. This is his bowel. What the fuck is that? We can't put this back. We can't put this back in. I don't know what doctor's doing that. Lifting out my insides and showing it round the theatre, making the nurse giggle. Look at that. Doctor. It's fucking hell. Doing a bit with my bits. So yeah. I wish you could do that though. I wish you could sort of pay to go in a specialised thing if you go in there, right? You go in a pod, and first they do they irradiate all the shit, right? You got nothing in there. You got no fucking microbes and that done or sterile or whatever. Not that sort of sterile, you know what I mean? And then they give you some sort of blood transfusion. I haven't got into science, right? And then they do like a colonic, but for everything. They somehow, right? They take you all apart, scrub it, right? Wash it under the sink, like wash your liver under the sink, put that back in. Again, I'm not a qualified doctor, right? But that's what I wish they could do. Like, we're doctor in the sense of Dr. Frankenstein or Dr. Shipman. Yeah, I wish you could just have like taking your car, do everything. I can change the oil, pump the tyres up, sand down the rust. That's as good as new. Cheers. But no. You can't do that. You can't do that. Science says you can't do that. And who am I to argue with science? Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. It still runs. I still think. I still eat and drink. I'm still working. I'm happy. What does it matter? It's just a shell, isn't it? Just a thing. Just a blob of meat for a brain to live in. Again, I'm not a doctor or a poet, but you know what I mean? I'm a big fucking sack of movable meat that thinks. Doesn't matter what this is, does it? It gets me around. These are fucking putting food in my mouth, right? And juggling. They're the two main things, right? It all fucking works. Doesn't matter what it's like until it doesn't work anymore. And I just then stick me and put fucking wheels on me, put me in some sort of bath on wheels and just get me round. I'd carry on doing shit. Oh, there we go. That should go in the. Could that get in the best of? We'll do it in the best of. Look, come on. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
How do you think we all got here?
We all got on planet Earth?
Yeah. How do you think it all started?
I think it all started with very small bacteria, and the laws of evolution applied.
And what was there before the bacteria?
Well, a primeval soup, according to science.
What's that?
Who knows?
Why is there something rather than nothing? Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna answer this in good faith. Well, first of all, why not? People think that it's mad that there's stuff, but why? Why isn't it mad that there was nothing? Imagine a universe of nothing. That would be odd as well, wouldn't it? You mean, and also the question why, it should be how. It don't be why, because there's no will. There's no will to the universe. The universe didn't crunch into the size of an atom and go, let's explode and make shit. There was no will, it just happened through gravity and all the different forces and laws that existed. I think people mean, how the fuck? How? That's what they mean.
So my question for all people like Richard Dawkins, I've interviewed everyone on this subject, you can imagine, is, well, what was there before nothing? And because the human brain can't comprehend that and can't answer that question, I'm a religious person. I believe in God. I was raised a Catholic. And the reason that I have stayed that way is because to me it makes perfect sense. It's logical that there must be a supernatural entity out there which is more sophisticated than the human brain, because we cannot answer that simple question. What was there before nothing?
We certainly can't.
Right.
What was there before the Big Bang? Nobody
So because they can't answer
it is
that
a strong
question.
argument for a creator of some sort. Whether that entity is supernatural or whether supernatural is simply natural that we haven't yet understood is another.
Are you religious
question.
or not?
I was brought up as a Christian. I abandoned Christianity in my early 20s. I have been through a series of changes. I feel that life does have purpose, that it does have meaning. I don't think we're here by accident. I don't believe that death is the end. I think we are incarnated in physical bodies, but I think consciousness and the body are separate issues. I think life goes on. So in that sense, I am a spiritual person rather than necessarily a religious person. I don't follow a particular religious doctrine.
But you do think there's something else at the end?
I do, particularly the notion that the death is not the end, that it's perhaps the beginning of the next great adventure.
Right.
And well, lots of reasons there. Well, nothing isn't really nothing. In fact, when people say, why is there something? Why isn't there a balance? Well, actually there is, because in general, the universe is an average of nothing. It's actually an average of nothing. Science will work this out, right? Because there's matter and antimatter.
I mean, this might as well be magic, really, mightn't it? What I'm saying, but the answer is there just is. That you need lots more questions, really. But the answer is because there is. Why? I don't know why. I mean, it does seem weird that there's stuff, but I think it was just as weird. We wouldn't be here, obviously, so you can't imagine there being nothing. But there was once, or was there?
The Earth supposedly was formed about 4.5 billion years ago, 4,500 million years ago. It supposedly was not cool enough to support life until about 4 billion years ago. But then by 3.9 billion years ago, the planet is seething with bacterial life. And the mainstream argument is that that bacterial life just evolved by accidental bumping together of molecules.
Do you believe that?
I don't. I go with Francis Crick on that, because surprisingly, because as you know, Francis Crick won the Nobel Prize for the double helix structure.
I'm very aware of his work.
And he did not, in a less-known book by Francis Crick called Life Itself that was published in 1981, he looked into the plausibility of what he called directed panspermia. He felt that it was impossible for life to have evolved accidentally on Earth, for the DNA-RNA system to have just appeared by accident. He thinks it was sent to planet Earth. He speculated, this is not me, this is Francis Crick. He speculated that there must have been some gigantic civilization in some far-off part of the universe which...
And a bit of it came to...
No, they discovered that they were going... This is Crick. They discovered that they were going to be wiped out in a supernova explosion. That's the suggestion. They looked for ways to get themselves off the planet. Distances are too great. They settled on cryogenic freezing of bacteria. They encoded DNA into those bacteria, and they fired them off into the universe in all directions. And one of those spaceships landed on the early Earth 3.9 billion years ago. And I must repeat, this is not Graham Hancock. This is Francis Crick, won the Nobel Prize.
Yes.
And this is his book, Life Itself, published in 1981. Directed panspermia.
I mean, look, I used to love Star Trek when I was a kid.
He made the point that the universe is more than 13 billion years old.
Yeah.
And there's time for life to have evolved
No, I get all
more
that.
than once.
Even if I understood quantum physics, it wouldn't help anyone. I couldn't explain it. It just, because it sounds like magic. It's mad. In fact, a lot of it is counterintuitive on contingent truths that we sort of hold dearly. But it is what it is. I think that's what you got to say. It is what it is. Say to me. That's life. Oh God. Talk. It's my life. Classic. Isn't it? Was that a hit around the world? I don't know. Doesn't matter. When I doubt they'll say that on the news. A drain actor will be sadly missed. I'd love that. I'd love that if that's my legacy. Oh dear, but it's fun, isn't it? Oliver says, do you feel proud when you see the actors you cast in one of their first major roles go on to a big career, e.g. Martin Freeman? Yes, it's always lovely. Although I should say that Martin Freeman, he wasn't, I didn't find him working in a laundrette, you know. I'd actually worked with him on it might have been his first sort of major comedy thing, I don't know. It was a long time ago, and I met him, I wrote, I co-wrote Bruiser, a sketch show with Mitchell and Webb, Richard O'Waddy and Matt Holness, Olivia Colman, and we wrote a little sketch thing, and I met him then, and thought it was great. All great, obviously, and yeah, that was my first little proper paid job by the BBC, and I remembered him and thought, yeah, he'd be good, and I was right. So yeah, and I, you know, obviously Ashley Jensen in Extras in the Afterlife. In the Afterlife. Oh, that's Pickle meowing. Do you want to see Pickle? Hold on. Fucking shambles, this is. Absolute. Right. Well, come here then. Come here then. Go on then. Go in there. No, I'm not playing. Don't run up the stairs, you fool. Oh, what? I was just. You were yowling, so I thought you wanted to be. I mean, you're watching this thinking, oh, look at that. But you're watching it. You're watching a grown man, right, dancing with a cat. Right, she wants to go. Go on then. There you go. Oh, that was... Just shows you how bad this is, where me dancing with a cat was the highlight. Think of that. Think of that. Did you see that show? Yeah. Was there any good bit? No. But the best bit was dancing with a cat. Another question. How would you describe your perfect day, assuming anything is possible? Good question. Well, I miss going to lovely places with gigs. Like this time last year we were in Paris. I went to Berlin, Zurich, Barcelona. I mean, once a week I was doing these, Amsterdam. So it might be walking round somewhere like that. Me and Jane walking around somewhere like that and buying stupid things and having coffee, and that would be a pretty perfect day actually. If we're abroad, and it's a nice place where they've got dogs and I'm scruffling dogs. In Amsterdam we went to this brilliant charity thing on a big barge. It's a cat rescue home. You just walk round and just scruffle the cats. You pay 10 quid or something, and then you just go in and stroke the cats. So maybe walking around Amsterdam, then doing a gig is pretty amazing. That's sort of what I do, isn't it? If I've walked around a beautiful place, had a lovely lunch, done a gig, feel that I've done something. Or if I can't do a gig, if I've written a joke, I've always got to do something that I think is part of my job. I think I can't have a complete day off, you can't help it. If I have a day off, I think of something. I think of a good idea or a bad idea. So yeah, I think that would be it. Wandering around a beautiful foreign town, and then doing something to do with comedy. I couldn't sit around and do nothing. I've never really enjoyed sitting on a beach for 8 hours. Do you know what I mean? I think a holiday is got to be an adventure. Yeah, walking around Amsterdam, doing nothing, scruffling dogs. Oh, my eyes are stinging again. I had a bath, didn't I? Bubble bath. I thought I got around it. I put in some shampoo the other day, wasn't bubbly enough. The comic and actor Ricky Gervais today, all sad and scabby with itchy eyes, in his bubble bucket. Bubble bath. Oh, this is it. Leopold and Loveday, happy day. It's Ricky's question. You are entering witness protection. Reasons top secret. Cats, by the way. And the government has allowed you to pick your new name. What would you choose as your new name? But it doesn't matter, does it? If I'm in witness protection and I go, hi, I'm John Smethurst, and they go, you look like the bloke from The Office. I go, Jane, call the FBI, tell them someone's recognised me. I'd have to have surgery, wouldn't I? And change my name. Unless I went to a place where they didn't have The Office, or Afterlife. Netflix is in about 160 languages. The Office was in about 90 countries. There's not a lot of places I can go, really. Maybe the Amazon basin or something. And then I don't really need a name. And I wouldn't be able to pronounce it, would I? If I were to try and just hear a clicking sound. I'm ignorant. I don't know the language. I don't even know if that is the Amazon basin as its own. I had no idea. I was guessing. I was bluffing. Oh dear. I just wanted to say basin. Amazon basin. What would my name be? Cool. What have I always liked? What name have I always liked? Brad would suit with it. Tommy Chubbington. Tommy Chubbington, that'd do, wouldn't it? I mean, wherever I am, where would I be? I couldn't just go in Watford, could I? Without having Tommy Chubbington, that'd do. And I'd have a different job, wouldn't I? The teacher and sports tutor, Tommy Chubbington, today, in a bucket of his own and blah blah blah. He will be sadly missed in the Watford area. She's still yowling. Right. What do you do on your first day as a long-necked man? Get out! Oh God! Look at all the awards I've won for writing and stand-up and directing. And that's only half of them. There's another wall over there, and yet I'm answering questions. What do you do on your first day as a long-necked man? This doesn't happen when they interview Obama or Attenborough. They don't get these questions. What would I do? I don't know. I suppose just look over fences. Just look. Because there's a lot of high-walled gardens in Hampstead, and I always think, oh, I wonder if they've got a tennis court. But you can't scramble up and have a look. But if I was just passing anyway, I go, morning. I go, hi. That's Tommy Chubbington, the long-necked man. He's got a face like the bloke in The Office, but it can't be him because he's 16 foot tall. Oh, God. Rupert, big-hearted thank you, Sir Ricky. Uncle, I followed you for some time, and you've been a hero of mine for years. Rupert's a dog, obviously. Thanks me for my kindness to animals. It's very nice. It's basically thanking me for entertaining, but I won't read it all because it's very nice though. But I feel bad reading such nice things about me. I'm mildly embarrassed, Rube, to read that out. I prefer it when you insult me. Thank you very much. My question, in case there's time, have you ever considered hosting your own quiz show? I think you'd be brilliant. Thank you, Rupert. Well, not officially, not on telly, but I did used to like it. You know, I used to do it, you know, with mates and family. I think I used to do it. Oh, I did work where I used to work. I did a mastermind for the people who worked there, and I researched the questions. That was fun. I do like it. It's something nice. I like doing quizzes though as well. It's nice to be the quiz master, but I prefer to be the naughty schoolboy arguing. That used to be a quiz I used to go to, and it's just terrible. I try and try and point out of the quiz master. Oh God. I got, what was Dostoevsky's first novel, and you got, what was Mickey Mouse's girlfriend? And that was for a pie. It's not fair. So, I think I'll probably be a better quizmaster than competitor, yeah. Oh dear. And thank you, Rupert, for saying nice things. Kermit, right, this is Kermit. It's, look at that. He gather round, all animals and humans at Twitterland. Again, I won't read it all, but it's a very, very lovely thing from Kermit the cat. So thank you. What a lovely crowd. What a lovely useless crowd you are. Bella, Joey, firstly Sir Ricky. I'm now Sir Ricky of... That's what I'd be, instead of a knighthood. All the cats and dogs make me their patron saint. Saint Ricky. Saint Ricky. Today, the Saint Ricky peacefully in a bucket. So, do that, be nice, keep following, keep watching. For today, the comic actor and comedian Sir Ricky Gervais peacefully in a bucket of his own and bubble bath. You'll miss me when I'm gone, won't you? Be nice to animals, stay safe, be nice to animals. Tatty bye everyone. Tatty bye.
All we need to do is take over the media in these NATO countries, and that's primarily social media, get one of our pawns elected as the president, and that president will control the military. So it's much cheaper and more efficient to win a military war by simply winning civilian election.
How are you all? Did you have a good Christmas? It was good, wasn't it?
When did the government realize that they had to get actively involved in censorship, and what steps did they initially take to get involved in this?
It started in 2014 with the Ukraine fiasco, the coup and then the counter coup. The coup was great for internet free speech. I mean, you really do need to start the story of internet censorship with the story of internet freedom, because promotion of censorship is sort of the flip side of promotion of free speech. And we've had this free speech government diplomatic role for 80 years now. when World War II ended, we embarked. We had the International Rules-Based Order that was created in 1948. We had the UN, we had NATO, we had the IMF, the World Bank. We had this big global system now. There was a prohibition in 1948 under the UN Declaration of Human Rights that you can't acquire territory by military force anymore and have it be respected by international law. So everything had to move to soft power influence. And so the U.S. government took a very active role beginning in 1948 to promote free speech around the world. And this was done through all these, initially CIA proprietaries like Voice of America and Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty. And then the whole Wisner's, Wurlitzer, State Department CIA apparatus, all the early partnerships with the media and the war machine around propaganda for World War II continued through the Cold War. And then that hit the gas with promotion of free speech on the internet when the internet was privatized. It was initially a military project, so it was a government operation from Jump Street. And then in 1991, the World Wide Web came out, civilian use. And right away, the State Department, the military, our intelligence sphere was promoting free speech so that we could have a basically government pressure on foreign countries to open up their internet, to allow basically groups that the U.S. government was supporting to be able to combat state control over media in those other countries. So we already had this sort of deep interplay between government, tech companies, universities, NGOs that dates back 80 years. You look at the evolution of NGOs like Freedom House or the Atlantic Council or Wilson Center in promoting these free speech things. So, but what happened was in 2014, we had about 25 years of successful free speech diplomacy. And then there was we tried to overthrow the government of Ukraine. We successfully did. And I'm not even arguing whether that's a good or a bad thing. But the fact is the U.S. did effectively January 6th, the Yanukovych government out of power in 2014. I mean, we literally had our Assistant Secretary of State for Europe and Eurasian Affairs, Victoria Nuland, handing out cookies and water bottles to violent street protesters as they surrounded the Parliament building and ran the democratically elected government out of office.
Someone just wrote at my stepdaughter's school saying, we're going to show this film, and it's got serious notions, but it also had some sexual language in it. But don't worry, we've taken out the sexual language. We restrict movies because they have sex in them, but we don't when people are being stabbed in the eye or their head is being cut off.
I think it was training day. I was watching in America. I was in the gym once, believe it or not, and it was like 2 p.m. in the morning. And there's a scene there where he's going, "Fuck you, no, fuck you," and they changed that to "forget you," right? Yeah. And then he shot him in the heart.
Yeah.
But then what happened is the eastern side of the state completely broke away. So we don't respect this new U.S.-installed government. Crimea voted in a referendum to join the Russian Federation. And that kicked off, that sort of set in motion the events that would end the concept of free speech diplomacy as like a U.S. government unfettered good. Because what they argued is we pumped $5 billion worth of U.S. government money into media institutions in Ukraine. That's the figure that's cited by Victoria Nuland in December 2013, right before the coup. $5 billion setting up independent media companies, basically sponsoring Mockingbird style our media assets in the region. And they still didn't penetrate eastern Ukraine. Eastern Ukraine was primarily ethnic Russian, didn't penetrate Crimea, so they said we need something to stop them from being able to combat our media influence. And they initially called this the Gerasimov Doctrine, named after Valery Gerasimov, who was this Russian general. They took a quote from him saying, "The new nature of war is no longer about military to military conflict. All we need to do is take over the media in these NATO countries, and that's primarily social media, get one of our pawns elected as the president, and that president will control the military. So it's much cheaper and more efficient to win a military war by simply winning civilian elections." So that was called the Gerasimov Doctrine. That's what set up the early censorship infrastructure in 2014. 3 years later, the guy who coined that, Mark Galeotti, would write a sort of mea culpa saying, "Oops, I'm sorry." Gerasimov was actually citing what the U.S. does. But by that point, they'd already renamed it hybrid warfare. NATO formally declared that it's tanks to tweets doctrine, saying that the new role of NATO is no longer just about tanks, it's about controlling tweets. And then Brexit happened in June 2016. In July 2016, the very next month in Warsaw, NATO added hybrid warfare to its formal charter, basically authorizing the military, the diplomatic sphere, and the intelligence world to take control over social media. And then 5 months later, Trump won the election, being called a Russian asset. So all that infrastructure was redirected home to the U.S.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, you can't know it's a masterpiece because that's subjective. So, however good you think it is, however good you're pleased with it, you've also got to know that as many people will hate it as love it. If it's any good, people will hate it because it should polarise. Really good things should be saying something, and because everyone's different, some people should hate it because it should be against what they believe or want to hear. Or so, you know, masterpiece is subjective term. So that there's no consensus. Everything I've ever done has got 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 star. Everything comes out. You know, it's just you've just got to assume you're doing it for yourself. And so to know something's good is to be pleased with it, that you've done your best. I knew it was different. Because I went to it with a big string of don'ts, things that I didn't like, or you know, examples. I thought some things were really. Everyone's a critic, and I used to sit in front of the telly and go, "That's rubbish. I can do better than that." But you've got to put your money where your mouth is, and so you've got to do your best. Then you realise how hard it is. Now I don't do that really. I don't watch things I don't like. I don't hate watch anything. I don't slag anything off publicly because I know how hard it is to do a bad show. Let alone a good show, let alone an amazing show, let alone a show that everyone loves, that goes massive. You can't even plan for that, because great shows don't get watched and bad shows, some people do. So I knew it was different, and I knew it had turned out just like I wanted, and that's all. And the reaction wouldn't have made much difference, really. As I say, there are some people that hate it. So what does that mean? Well, it means nothing. It means everyone's different, so you've got to do it. You've got to do it for you. Do I get nervous when you put something new out there? I get excited. Again, I know the reaction. I know that some people are I love it, and some people will hate it, and everything in between. And most people, there are 7 billion people on there, most people won't watch it. So, you know, all you've got to do is get paid, have fun doing it, and try your best. The fact that someone keeps giving me money to make stuff, I've won. So you can't worry about a bad review or someone going, oh, this is shit. In fact, you've got to encourage it. You've got to polarise. Titch. But thank you for saying. Did you say it was a masterpiece? I've embarrassed myself. Were you suggesting? There you go. I didn't say it was a masterpiece. No. If you did, then thank you. Have a nice new year. Stay safe. Right. Tatty bye, everyone. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye.